Hello, this is Soundout here, and today we're going to find out what is the second franchise that I've gotten into recently and really enjoy. The first one was the Gundam franchises. The last video I did was my first Gundam model kit review. If you haven't seen that already and you care about Gundam, go watch it. It's on my channel. But today we're going to take a look at something that's been in my family for a long time, something I've had an interest in, but I've finally had the dedication to watch all of it. It has been around for many years now, and we're going to find that out today. As we start with the very first of the merchandise/action figures for this franchise. So, and here we go. Today we are taking a look at the Star Trek vintage Mego figures from 1977. These are not your Diamond Select Toys reproductions. These are not any kind of reissue. These are the original Mego figures released back in the 70s. These belong to my mom, and recently found them in storage, and my mom has given them to me, and I am going to share them with you, as I find this to be incredibly cool to have the original Megos. Now, like I said, Diamond Select Toys has done some reproductions and new figures to add to the line, like the Gorn, for example. I won't be reviewing this one, but it's here. And as you can see, the packaging is very similar, but you'll notice on the back of these it has a newer style picture, and it gives you a little bio about the Mego Corporation. From 1974 to 1979, legendary Mego Corp first licensed Star Trek toys ever. Their designs have become timeless and their value immeasurable, but now you can own painstaking reproductions, yada yada. These are nice reproductions, and Sulu and Chekhov, along with the Gorn, Charon, the Keeper, and Mugato, which I don't believe were ever released in the original line, are available, and there are some others like Mirror Kirk and Mirror Spock and such. So, why am I reviewing these original ones? I thought it'd be fun, personally. That was my entire intention. So, these aren't sealed or anything, they're not in the greatest condition. The figures are in nice condition, the packaging has seen better days, that's for certain. We'll take a look at one of the cards here. Now, they released 6 figures in the line. I don't know, I haven't done as much research on these as I have some other things. But you can see we got Captain Kirk, Dr. McCoy, aka Bones, Mr. Spock, Lieutenant Uhura, Mr. Scotty, Klingon. Interestingly, did not include Sulu, but instead of Klingon, at least we got a villain. Something that Mattel doesn't even do nowadays. So here's Captain Kirk, as you can see here. On the back, you can see it says the USS Enterprise, Starship Enterprise 51210. This play case is an authentic replica. The flight deck of the Starship USS Enterprise includes sickbay for Dr. Bones McCoy, captain's chair and navigational console. Watch the magical action of the transporter room. Spin the dial, press a button. Any Star Trek action figure appears and disappears at the touch of a finger. Includes 6 scenes for the telescreen for complete authenticity. Folds for easy carrying and fully washable vinyl surfaces. Blast off for the unknown regions of space with this toy of limitless imagination. I definitely plan to get one of the reproductions of these. Now you can see there is all of you're going to see the Klingon in this video, since I do not have it. But as you can see here, this originally cost $3.44 back in the 70s. Fun times. Also got communicators, Star Trek communicators. You can now join the Starfleet Command with Mego's Star Trek communicators, just like the devices used by Captain James Kirk, Mr. Spock, and the crew of the Enterprise. Powerful 7-transistor walkie-talkie communicators send and receive authentic Star Trek twin-warp sound and voice messages up to 1/4 of a mile. Beautiful styling with telescoping antenna. Case is two-toned blue with silver and black Starfleet insignia. Works on 9-volt battery. I do give them credit for how it looks, though that would be a bit more accurate. But I do give them credit for having the flip open front. This is, if you're curious, I know some of you might be. If you are curious, this is not the Diamond Select Toys communicator, but the this one, what was it made? IPI Toys version, which I really do like and glad I have. Yes, I've kind of dived into Star Trek, but I haven't bought very much because my parents had a lot of this stuff. And actually, my parents were in a Star Trek club while they were dating. And, yeah, a lot of history of Star Trek. So as you can see here, this Captain Kirk, he's opened on the bottom. They've all been opened before they've been taken out. They've been put back in nice condition. Here's Mr. Spock. Just give you a quick look. Dr. McCoy, aka Bones. And we got Mr. Scott, aka Scotty. And the only female, Lieutenant Uhura. So, anyways, without further ado, I'm going to get these guys opened up and take them out of the box, and we'll look at each of them. Alrighty, let's turn the light up here. Here is Captain Kirk. Now, you're going to basically be seeing the same figure 4 times, and then you're going to see a female version of the figure. Now, the Mego is very popular, especially nowadays, thanks to the creation of Robot Chicken, who they use a lot of Megos. All companies ranging from Diamond Select Toys to Mattel have been making reproduction figures to go with the originals. If you have the originals, cool. If not, I do enjoy that they're going back to the roots, because this is basically where all action figures started from. Yeah, they're technically dolls, I guess, since they got cloth clothing, but then that'd be saying that Hot Toys are dolls, and we don't want that, do we? Anyways, so having figures of the original crew is always nice. So here's Captain Kirk. Now, the likeness for 1974, yeah, sorry, I messed up the date earlier. For 1974, this is not bad. This looks like Kirk. You can definitely tell it's Captain Kirk. And it's kind of funny, it's slight discoloration around his hair here, where like the toupee would be. I find that amusing. You do see, have the Starfleet badge. Now, it is a sticker, which makes that part probably the most delicate of the whole thing, along with the little trim, which you can see there's a bit missing from there and there. It has worn off over time, but overall, these are in nice condition. I applaud my mom for keeping them in such good shape over the years. You can see that it pretty much looks like Captain Kirk, and it accomplishes that very well. He's got the gold command shirt. If you do feel like you want to recreate famous scenes, this is removable. I'm not going to remove it because it is very, very old. But, you know, I think they prepared for people to want to do this because, yeah, everything's sculpted underneath. So there you go. There's your Kirk moment. You can see on the back, Mego Corporation, 1974, regular U.S. Patent Office, patent pending, Hong Kong. Same thing on the head. The heads were usually done separate from the rest of the figures on these. So, yes, you can remove the clothes if you want to. Though if you're going to remove the pants, people are into these things. The boot's attached. It's not a separate device. It's actually where the knee joint is. So anyways, really nice looking overall. He does have articulation, surprisingly. You got the neck joint that moves. His head is very rubbery, so I would be careful keeping this into any hot places. Whereas that sounds, I'm probably going to turn down my light shortly after and get him out of the light because it is really hot in here. Do the light. He does have full articulation in the shoulder. Geez, this is like the 70s. He does have an elbow movement, and being very careful. So you can bend his elbow. His wrist joints. This is why this works. Like, Robot Chicken uses these because they have some articulation. Of course, they use reproduction. I don't think they use originals on that. He does have a mid-torso waist joint. He's got outward leg movement, kind of restricted. Forward and back leg movement. So he is able to sit down, because he does have knee joints. So he's able to sit down if you do have the bridge play set. And I plan on getting one of the reproductions. But anyways, you can see here, well, that's it for articulation. You can remove the belt, but the belt does have 2 accessories on it. The first being his Type 2 phaser. The Type 1 part is not removable. I wouldn't expect it to be. But it goes into his hand, and despite the hand mold, it actually clicks into place pretty well. It does have a clip, and he can shoot things. He is Captain Kirk. He shall shoot stuff. Even if that requires whatever he does. he is Captain Kirk. But yeah, you have that there, which looks really nice, and it's really, really neat how they engineered that so that they could use the same hand mold for every figure. And then he also has here a very blue Communicator, but Communicator nonetheless. It is just a piece of plastic. I don't want to lose it, so I'm not going to put it in his hand, but there it is. All of them have at least a phaser and a Communicator, but slides in right there, and there you go. There is Captain Kirk. Now, I could say that you've seen one, you've seen them all, but there are enough differences between the figures to make this worth looking at each individually. But there is Captain Kirk. So we'll put him off to the side for now and take a look at the next figure. Alright, next we're going to look at Mr. Spock, of course. He's our other main character of the series. And he is also very nice. The likeness to Leonard Nimoy is there. The ears, they did sculpt in the ears. I do like that. He's a Vulcan. No thing there. Unfortunately, his Starfleet badge is not as nice a shape. I blame the tricorder. Speaking of which, he has a tricorder. That's a new piece. So you can see the tricorder here. Looks exactly like the one from the show, right? Actually pretty good. Really, really good, actually. I'm surprised. So yeah, the tricorder is used by a couple other figures, but it is there. He has the same articulation as the other figures. He's got the head. He's got the shoulders, which work. The elbow. He's got the wrist articulation and the wrist pivot. He's got the waist joint. He's got the leg movement. Admittedly, it's really just forward and back. He's got the knee. So you can make him assume any kind of pose that you want. And if you're Sheldon Cooper, he will talk to you in your sleep. Anyways, he can hold the phaser, like so. And you can have Mr. Spock with the phaser. If you do want, you can remove the tricorder. I feel like I shouldn't, but I think it will look cool if you did. We'll just, there we go, like that. So that does come off if you want just a regular Mr. Spock. And if you want him to hold the tricorder, I'm sure there's a way of doing that. Yeah, there's a way of doing it. I don't want to deal with it right now. But there is Mr. Spock, and I like him without the tricorder personally for right now. I think he looks good. I'm just going to put the tricorder on for posterity's sake. You can notice that the gold bands on his arms are in nicer condition than Kirk's, probably because there's only two. But there you go, there's Mr. Spock, pretty much Kirk with a blue science shirt now, instead of a gold command. And a new head and a tricorder. So, let's take a look at Dr. McCoy. And here is Dr. McCoy, good old bones. Now, he has the same problem Mr. Spock had with the emblem sticker, that being due to his tricorder strap. Now, you may notice there is a slight discoloration on his shirt that worries me a bit. And there is a place, his belt was on the outside of his shirt for all these years. My mom, I think, opened these, put them back, had them out for a while, put them back, and is not taking them out again. And so it's been at least 20 years since that's happened, and so that's going to have to fluff out, hopefully. I do have good feeling. So he is in medical blue. Though you couldn't tell because of the emblem. But he does have his phaser, like always. I say like always because that's just how it's been. He does have the Communicator as well. Again, I'm not going to take it out just because it's really small. I don't want to lose it, and he doesn't really hold it that well. So there is Dr. McCoy with his loose arm joint. That's not cool. So there's Bones. He gets to be grumpy, like he is. But yeah, there's Bones. There's really not much else to say. He is pretty much Mr. Spock with a different head. But he is really neat nonetheless. I notice a lot of Star Trek figures do suffer from DC Universe Classics problem. That's mostly, it's all the same bodies, just swapping heads here and there. Definitely really cool to have this nonetheless. So, let's take a look at a different colored shirt. And here is Mr. Scotty, the transporter guy, whatever you want to call him. Really nice red color for sure on this one. This is the red engineering shirt. This is where the famous red shirt, red you're dead thing comes from. Except, luckily for James Doohan's paycheck, he didn't die every time he went down to the planet. Otherwise, he wouldn't have been in as many episodes as he was. So he is red engineering. That kind of is how they explain how they have so many engineering guys die, and yet there's always more guys in red shirts. Now he does have a little frayed edge here that worries me, and I do want to fix his belt back a bit. As you can see, his the shirt again has the same issue that Bones had with his shirt. That's the belt causing permanent, hopefully temporary fix to the thing. I gotta be careful with these clips. If you do have a vintage one, they won't be as strong. But overall, likeness is pretty good. I gotta admit, it's a good likeness of the character. It's not the greatest, but considering this was at the time where licensed toys were finally coming out for characters and such, it's really not bad at all, I gotta say. So yeah, there is Scotty. And finally, our most unique figure from the set, Lieutenant Uhura. I'm actually really impressed that Mego actually made Uhura. Uhura was definitely an inspirational character for not only women in prominent roles in television, but also African Americans in prominent roles on television. Definitely a big leap. And so I'm really glad that she did get a figure. I prefer her over Sulu because new body mold. I mean, to make this figure, they had to create a whole new body mold. They couldn't just slap a new head on a previously existing figure. They could have easily made Sulu, just make a new head, put it on Kirk's body, problem solved. But you have Uhura. The likeness it's pretty good. I gotta admit, it's pretty freaking good. Considering 1974 and all. And the hairstyle, well, she actually has real hair, which I hope will poof out a bit. I mean, it's been against a card back this whole time, you can't blame her. You gotta love the sexist Starfleet uniforms. And it's interesting that even though she's molded in African American skin tone, she actually has leggings. So, that's interesting. Her only accessory is her tricorder. She does not come with a phaser because they'd have to remold the phaser to fit her smaller hands. But she is the most articulated out of the bunch, having a whole ball-jointed neck, full ball-joint shoulders, elbows. She's got the wrist swivel, the wrist pivot. She's got a full torso articulation. She's got her legs move out, and they move kind of forward and kind of back. She does have a knee bend and nothing in the foot, but it does look like the boots are a separate piece. So she is definitely the most unique. Unfortunately, she is not ready for battle. So there you go. She is a bit hard to balance, but once you get her balanced, she looks really nice. And there's Uhura. I gotta say, I'm really impressed that they actually made her, considering that the rest of the line was males. It's really nice, and I do appreciate it. Thank you, Mego. So I hope you all enjoyed this look at the original Star Trek Mego figures. Definitely something I thought I'd never review. As I was going through my parents' stuff and looking at their Star Trek collection, this was like the last thing that I thought would be in there. Like I said, you can get reproductions of these figures. They go for a lot less than the originals, I can guarantee that. Now, I'm not selling mine. I'm just putting that out there because I know someone's going to ask. I'm not selling the set, but I am ecstatic to actually have these. To keep them in good shape, though, I'm putting them back in their boxes to preserve them. My eventual goal is to get a reproduction bridge playset and get a nice plastic case to put around them. If that does actually happen, and I'm still doing my YouTube videos then, I will definitely show a video of that. And if I do pick up any of the reproductions of, say, Sulu or Chekhov, because I think that would really complete this set, I will definitely review those as well. No guarantees that I'll be able to find the reproductions of them, but if I do, I'll definitely get them. I would like to complete the whole crew, but having this here as originals is really, really nice, and I hope that you all enjoyed looking at these. If you are new to this channel, and you found my channel through finding a video of the original Star Trek Megos, welcome. I am Soundout12. I am the reviewer-in-chief at Herotaku.com, the nerdiest site on the net, and I review all kinds of stuff. If you're into Kamen Riders, Super Sentai, Power Rangers, animes, Gundam, DC comics, occasionally I come up with some other random things that pop up here and there, but that's the majority of what I do. Take a look around my channel. You may enjoy what you see, and if you don't, stay tuned, because I definitely have a vast collection of Star Trek items, thanks to my parents, collecting all this stuff 20-something years ago and more. There's a lot of it, and I'm going to review it, and I want to hopefully get it out on display sometime to show all of you. But stay tuned, as I do have some other things in my collection. Like, for example, Next Generation Transporter. Will that be the next Star Trek video? Maybe. Maybe not. You never know. As we venture into space, the final frontier. To boldly go where no reviewer has gone before. And definitely reviewing the 1970s Megos is a good start. So stay tuned for more Star Trek videos. Stay tuned for other videos that I'll be posting. And be sure to check out Herotaku.com for all the coolness of everything. Until next time, Soundout saying goodbye.